Let's do a little chair yoga. But this is going to be a challenging chair yoga class. So have a chair available, and it should have no arms and it should not have any wheels and be on your mat. We will move it a few times during our practice. Let's get started with our mountain pose. So feet underneath the hips, feet pointing straight forward. Squeeze the shoulder blades back and then let the shoulders drop down away from the ears. Turn the palms forward, reach the fingertips down toward the ground, gentle tuck of the chin, top of the head reaches toward the ceiling, and you can feel that length from the top of your head all the way down to your heels. Make sure your toes are nice and soft and not doing any work. And then begin that breath through the belly. And just breathe. Feeling the belly expand, and then relax. And then as you breathe in, feel the belly expand, and then the lower ribs, and then relax. Belly expand, lower ribs expand. Shoulders stay soft and relax. And then on your next exhale, let the whole body soften again. Okay, we're going to jump right into some warrior poses. So let's turn the chair so that the seat is facing us. We're going to bring the right knee so it's touching the chair. We're going to drop the left leg back into our warrior pose and then turn the hips forward. So keep the knee touching the chair. The heel should be stacked right under the knee. And then we'll move into our warrior one, arms high position, straight elbows, shoulders down away from the ears. Having the knee touching the chair ensures we're stacked up properly. And sometimes that gives you a little bit of confidence to step back a little bit further with the back foot. Keeping that knee touching the chair, we're going to turn the hips and shoulders to the left, open the arms, and look forward over the right fingertips. We're going to take the right hand down to the chair and the left hand up. Still keeping that knee touching the chair. We're going to bring the left hand over the ear. Stretching from the fingertips to the heel. And then the left hand's going to come back up and around. Then the right hand's going to float up toward the ceiling. Maybe even into a little tiny back bend. And then let's let that hand come down. We'll step forward. We'll bring the left foot to the chair. Step back with the right. Turn the hips forward. Pressing through the back heel and bring the arms up high. If that doesn't feel good in your shoulders, find another open arm position, maybe open behind or goalposts. Shoulders are still down away from the ears, knee gently touching the chair, pressing through the back heel. And we'll turn to the right. Open the arms, look forward past the left fingertips. Knee still touching the chair, pressing through the back heel. We'll Tip the left hand down, right hand up, reaching toward the ceiling. And over the ear. And then we'll bring the right hand back up and down. The left hand will float up toward the ceiling and maybe even into a little back bend. Left knee still touching the chair. And we'll bring that arm down and we'll step forward. Step just a little bit away from the chair. We'll do some swan dives into the chair, sweeping the arms up, and then we'll swan dive down, reaching for the chair. If the seat's too far, use the back of the chair. Working on the combination of a nice flat or low back curve, that's your priority, and then bringing your knees as straight as they will go, trying to achieve both. And we'll just hold this through a few more breaths. Soft face, soft shoulders. And we'll bend the knees, sweep the arms up, and we'll swan dive back down. And if you can go a little bit lower, letting your elbows bend. Maybe even bringing the elbows onto the chair, depending on how flexible you are. Or staying up on the back of the chair. And let's bend the knees, sweep it back up. Exhaling back down, coming to the chair one more time. Maybe even finding the forehead near or on the chair. And you can let your back round out just a little bit. And we'll bend the knees and press back up. Let the hands come down through prayer. We'll turn around and sit down in our chair. We'll go ahead and do some chair poses, but rather than coming down into chair pose, we're going to go up into chair pose. So let's start with just the hands on the knees to start with. Feet should be about hip width distance apart. Make sure the knees are stacked over the feet and they don't fall in towards each other. Without using any momentum, bring the body forward and lift off of the chair. And then slowly back down. Okay, let's bring the hands, either leave them on the knees or into prayer pose. Slowly lift and back down. Very mindful, slow movement to lift, push up through the heels. Do not let the knees fall in towards each other. Slowly back down. If it's too difficult to get up from the chair this slowly, then tuck a pillow between you and the chair to give you a little bit of lift. But notice in daily life then, are you using momentum to pull yourself out of the chair? That can create issues. Oftentimes people will throw the head forward, head and shoulders forward, and that can create a lot of tension in the neck. Okay, let's go up a little higher and then back down. A little bit higher and then all the way back down. Okay, let's bring the arms up, come up, and then into the toes. Heels down, back down. Come up slow, into the toes. The balls of the feet, gently toes, back down. Couple more times. And back down. Let's come back to standing. We'll go back to our swan dive. Sweeping the arms up and swan diving down to the chair. Let's keep that low back curve. And we'll bend the knees and press up. Let's touch the right knee onto the chair. Take as long of a step as you feel comfortable with. And we'll place the hand in the chair again. Okay, left hand's going to go straight up. Breathe. You can bring the elbow to the knee or the hand all the way down, or stay with the chair. Okay, left arm's going to go over the ear. Then back up. Bring the right hand back up to the chair. We're going to straighten the right leg. Left hand over the ear again. And that arm's going to come back around and down. We'll step forward and we'll switch sides. So the left knee will touch. Drop that right foot back as far as feels comfortable for you. Left hand to the chair, right hand up. Right hand's not just up, it's reaching. And the left hand can stay at the chair, elbow to knee, or all the way to the floor. Or a block if you have your blocks. Top hand over the ear. Top hand back up. Left hand to the chair again. Let's straighten the left knee. Right hand over the ear. Bring the top hand up and around, and we will come back to standing. And we'll take a little bit of a step away from the chair. The right foot's going to stay down. The back left toe will be on the ground. We'll tip forward, reaching for the chair, lifting the back leg. The hips are going to stay parallel with the floor. We're just lifting that back leg as high as it will go and creating a long line from the top of the head to the heel of the lifted foot. Thinking about the supporting leg being soft, but keeping that knee as straight as you can make it go without forcing it. Soft face and neck, soft shoulders. And then we'll come back down and we'll switch sides. So toe touch back with the right foot, lifting, straightening the left knee, keeping the hips more in line with the ground. Weight in the heel of your supporting foot. Long line, heel to the top of the head. And then we'll bring it back down. Let's sweep the arms up. Let's come down through prayer hands. Pause for just a moment. And we're going to go through that again and change it up just a little bit. So we will keep the right foot grounded. This time we're going to hold to the back of the chair. If that's uncomfortable for you at all, if you feel unstable, go back to the seat of the chair. Trying to straighten that left leg, keeping the hips parallel with the ground. And then we'll bring that down. And then we'll switch sides. Bringing the right up, straightening the left knee as much as you're able to. Lengthening through the arms over the back of the chair, using the chair for stability. The weight in the heel of your supporting leg. And then slowly coming down. We'll sweep the arms up. Come down through prayer hands, pausing for just a moment. Okay, then we're going to change it up yet again. So we'll come back down. Let's reach for the chair this time, the seat of the chair. The left leg's going to come back and up. This time we're going to turn the left hip up toward the ceiling. If you have both hands on the chair, you'll feel a little bit of a twist. If you feel stable, you can keep the right hand on the chair and the left hand can come to the hip. If you come out of your pose like I just did, find something stable to look at that will help you keep your balance. And the left hand can go toward the ceiling in this pose as well. You may not be in the same version of this pose as me. Wherever you're at is fine. Respect your body where it's at. And always moving towards more expansion. Let's come down. We'll go to the other side. So the right toes will come back. We'll lift with both hands on the chair. Turn the right hip up with both hands on the chair. And then if you feel stable, check the weight in the heel of the supporting foot. If you feel stable, the right hand can come to the hip or up toward the ceiling. And then let's come down. Sweep the arms up. And then bring the hands down through prayer. Let's move the chair. So the front part of the chair will be on the mat. So we can keep our feet on the mat. And we'll come forward in the chair. We'll turn the right knee out and we'll stretch. Hi, Boo. We'll stretch the back leg back. Similar to what we do in a warrior one, we'll turn the hips as far forward as they'll comfortably go. So we're just using the chair to create more mobility. Most of us won't take this wide of a stance in a warrior one pose without the chair. So this is about mobility. And then we'll start creating some strength. So gently turning the hips, you'll feel a lot of openness in the left side. And then let's take a goalpost, arms, and then just gently press your heels into the mat. Press, 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 press. Bye, boo. Press, but soft face, still breathing. Press enough that you almost might feel yourself lift up from the chair. And gently let that go. We'll bring the arms down. Let's turn the other way. So stack the right knee over the foot and then press that back heel behind you, really feeling that openness, especially as you rotate your body forward. And then we'll bring the arms back into goalposts. And then think about gently pressing into the ground with your heels. Still breathing as you're pressing. Breathing. If you want to try a little bit firmer pressing through the heels, that you might lift yourself gently off the chair. No forcing, no momentum. And then let it back down. Bring the arms down. Okay, and let's keep the knees nice and wide. Okay, we'll take the right elbow to the right knee, straight up and over. Pull that back, other side, up and over. Okay, let's bring that back. Let's go through a wide leg lift. Okay, so as wide as you can comfortably go, the knees should be able to point in the same direction as the toes. Bring it in if they are not. We'll keep the hands in prayer. We're going to slowly bring the weight into the heels and lift off the chair and back down. Gently lift off the chair and back down. Lift off the chair. And let's just keep flowing with this for a little bit. Hello again, boo. What's up, cat? Okay. If you want to stay with me, lift a little bit higher. Mindfully back down. Lift a little bit higher. Mindfully back down. A couple more of those. And down. Okay, let's come back up. We're going to turn the chair with the seat facing us. Make sure your chair is nice and stable. Okay. If you don't feel comfortable doing this pose, then go back to touching the knee on the towards the chair. We're going to reach up on the chair. Bring the foot up on the chair. We're going to find a nice point where the knee is stacked over the ankle. If you need to move the position of your back foot to find some comfort and stability there, you can work on that. Take the time to do that. And let's just open the arms behind us. Top of the head is moving up toward the ceiling. Chest is open, pushing through the back heel, pushing down into the chair with the front heel. And we're going to take the left hand to the chair, right hand up. Still pressing through the back heel. Okay, we're going to slowly come back into that open pose. And then back into our twist. Back into our open pose. Back into our twist. Back into the open pose and bring the leg down. Okay, left side up on the chair. Bringing that knee up, stacking it up as best as you're able to. And then open. Press through that back heel. Okay, now let's go into our little flow. Right hand comes to the chair. Left hand goes up. A little bit of a twist. And then we'll come back to an open pose. A little bit of a twist. Open. And twist. And open. And down. Okay, let's go through some deeper stretching. So make sure the front of your chair is on the mat. Okay, we'll take the right foot, cross it over the left. Sitting up nice and tall. Sit here for a moment and let that nice deep stretch in the right hip sink in a little bit. Every in-breath, think about lengthening towards the ceiling. Exhales, think about softening the hips and thighs. You're starting to feel that stretch give a little bit, that space give, and you're feeling that stretch let go. And think about the chest moving straight forward. That gentle movement of pressing the chest straight forward brings the hips along and creates a little more pull in that space. We want nice, good hip mobility so that our back doesn't have to compensate. A couple more breaths here, really softening on those exhales. And then leaving the leg where it's at, we'll sit back up and we'll rotate to the right. Still sitting up nice and tall, rotating the right rib cage back toward the chair. And if you're able to cross the leg, let the leg cross over, still going into that nice gentle twist. And then we'll let that go. We'll cross left over right. First sitting up nice and tall, feeling that stretch in the hip. letting the body settle in, lengthening toward the ceiling on the inhales, softening the hips and thighs on the exhales. Now let's press the chest straight forward. Deepen that stretch through the hip just a little bit by pulling the chest and the hips into that more forward angle. Re-softening the hips and thighs as much as you need to. You'll tend to want to tighten back up on some of us. So bring your attention back there. Continue to soften. Deep, slow breaths. And then let's bring our body back up, keeping the leg where it's at. We'll rotate to the left. Shoulders away from the ears, nice and tall. And then if you can let that knee slide over, twisting just a little bit deeper. And then we'll let that go. Let's turn our chairs this way again. And then we'll go down to the mat if you need some cushion for underneath your knees. We're going to stretch the shoulders a little bit. By putting the arms on the chair, we're going to try to turn the hands palm up and then move away from the chair enough that your forehead can come down between your arms. If this is an uncomfortable position for your knees, you can sit on a cushion and do this same stretch. This nice and gently brings the shoulders into their full position or to your end range. And then let's slowly come back up. Go even farther from our chair. Sinking fully down into the position, still stretching the shoulders. And then let's the arms come to the ground. We'll come up and then we'll go all the way down into our final relaxation position. You need to press your chair toward the end of your mat. You can either do this with or without your chair. We'll have our feet up in a supported position for our final Shavasana or corpse pose. And just try to find a position where your body can completely relax. Letting the feet or the knees fall a little bit open. Turn the hands palm up. Finding your breath in your belly. Thinking about extending your exhales just a little bit. Thinking about creating some space in your body without moving your shoulders. Think about the 2 points of your shoulders moving apart from one another. There's no muscles you can use to do this. It's more about relaxing what's in between them. Thinking about the 2 points of the jaw expanding away from one another. Thinking about the bones on the either side of the eyes floating away, creating a little more space for your eyes, for your sinuses. So if you're feeling tension in your shoulders at any point during the day, think about those shoulders floating away from each other. Thinking about the jaw, the points of the jaw floating away, the outside of the eyes floating away. Take a moment to create a little more tension in that space again. Gently shrug your shoulders or pull your shoulders in towards each other. Squish your eyes together. Squeeze your lips and jaw together. And then soften. And then expand. And then start bringing yourself back. Start wiggling your toes, your fingers. Thinking about bringing yourself back into a seated position by rolling to one side or the other. Any seated position on your mat. Then we'll take one more nice big breath together, sweeping the arms up, bringing the hands down through prayer pose, and wishing one another namaste. Thank you for practicing with me today.